Let's get this show on the road. What's going on, everybody? Today we're talking about something that is more important than the payment itself. I know a lot of you think that you don't quite know what that could be, but we're going to talk about it. That's what we're going to do here today. You know how we do it. First, we got to roll graphics. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? If this is your first time on this channel right here, this channel is designed for content creators like yourself, my photographers, my videographers that's looking to turn their passion into profit. My name is Ty. I'm a former Army combat photographer, the owner of Flash Film Media, which is one of the most trusted production companies here in the great state of Texas. And today we're going to talk about something that's more important than the payment, and that is the terms of the payment. They need to be out front. They need to be centered. They need to be well defined for yourself for legal purposes and just so that the client understands when to pay what. Sometimes, if you're new to working with businesses, sometimes you may not be aware as to how they pay bills, and it may not work well with you. I've turned down jobs because clients wanted to do things in ways I did not want them to be done. Let me give you an example. Everybody said they want government contracts and all these big government jobs. You don't realize you're not getting paid until the job is complete. Or if it's an ongoing job, that payment cycle could take forever. If you have a staff or if you outsource things, you need to be in a position to pay for that. You need to pay those contractors. You need to pay the people that work with you. You need to be able to pay all your bills until this big lump sum of money gets approved, sent to 12 other people, signed off, thumbprinted, then sent to a bank, which got to hold it. Then they'll cut a check to you, which they want to mail out because they don't want to do direct deposit or wire transfer or credit card. And then they mail it out to you. It get lost in the mail. You got to request another, all this stuff. You need to be prepared for that. And if you don't understand the terms in which you are paid, you could be jacking yourself up. You can be jacking your business up. In our contract pack, we talk about that, right? We talk about defining the terms of your payment because you can't just say, yeah, it's $1,000 and handshake and peace. You need to understand that you need a non-refundable retainer. That's what we're calling them. You should not be calling them deposits anymore because deposits are refundable. I don't care what you spend on your lawyer. He's going to get in front of that judge, and the judge is going to say, you have it listed here as a deposit. Well, in this state, deposits are refundable. When you submit that non-refundable retainer and you are going through that contract with those payment terms, it's up to you to decide what's paid up front. I have a certain amount that's due for me to even take that date off the calendar. We're not moving forward with no kind of conversation about what I think is a good idea to help your business do X, Y, and Z until we have a non-refundable retainer paid. That should all be in your paperwork that the client signs before they pay anything. Sometimes clients think they slick. They'll send you some money and don't sign it. They BS and drag their feet on signing the paperwork. I want the paperwork signed before I want the check. So you need to make sure that your payment terms are written out, are provided, or on your end understood. I've worked with really, really big clients. You can go in there huff and puff all you want about what you're going to get and how you're going to get it, but they have lawyers who have lawyers who have lawyers that are on staff ready to come after you. So you should at least understand what those terms are. If you're in a situation where you can only do so much, you want to at least present them to the client. And a lot of times clients, they're not going to give you no beef, man. They're going to be like, all right, it is what it is. But there's some things you want to make sure that you lay out, right? You don't want to get paid in by credit card because you don't want to have a 2.7% fee. Well, what if the client say we only pay by credit card? Cool. Now I know to add that 2.7% fee to your bill. In most cases, I tell you to always profit that in there anyway. Now I know to maybe find ways to incentivize you to do a wire transfer. Hey, we'll give you a free teleprompter if you guys do a wire transfer. Those are things you can play around with to help save that 2.7%, which depending on the size of the job can be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Keep that in mind as you discuss those payment terms. That should be in your contract. Some companies don't pay contractors but twice a year. Sounds crazy until you run into it. go through a whole lot of red tape to get you paid, and you need to be aware of that. If you are not aware of that, you may be signing up thinking you about to have this big payday on Friday, and they don't have a check for you. I've worked with school systems that don't pay anything until they have the completed video in their hand. It goes up for approval. That person signs off for it. Then it goes to the department to get paid. So we're talking about 30 days after the project has been completed. Do it then go to the department that cuts the check. That may take 10 business days. So if you understand the terms and you have them defined in your contract, they will abide by them. And if they cannot abide by them, they will tell you why they can't. And a lot of times it's paperwork. It has nothing to do with your ability or their ability or them not wanting to pay you. A lot of times it's just paperwork and how they operate. Okay, there's a few other things in the terms of payment that you need to be mindful of. You need to be mindful of late payments. What happens when payments are late? How do I incentivize my client to not be late? What are some of the penalties for going over on revisions? Making sure that you have contracts in place that express your terms of payment is one of the most important things you can do. Because a client can say, I give you $1 a month for the next 10 years. If you sue that client and go to court and they have a team of lawyers, I'm not saying they won't walk out, winning, but there's nothing in place that says this is what needs to happen. So make sure as a business owner, these are the type of things that you have to worry about when you work with a client. Mom and pop shops, your friends, your cousins, all these people you want to do business with. If you need to go after them in court, if it's a small claim court, it's fairly easy to go after people. You don't need an attorney. You just need paperwork, proof, and you go in front of a judge and you plead your case, and the judge makes the decision. But make sure that you have your terms set and it's easy and you have signatures and you cover your butt. Do not do handshake deals. I don't even do handshake deals with family members. I'm not doing handshake deals with nobody. If we're going to do business, let's do all of it. Understanding the terms of your payment is the most important thing. It's more important than the money. You want to make sure that you have those defined in your contracts. If you don't have contracts, we got contracts, but just make sure whatever you decide to do, you have them defined so clients understand what they're getting, so you understand the client situation. Make sure that you are aware what their process is and they are aware of your process. 9 times out of 10, you are going to dictate that process. You are going to set those guidelines. You are going to present them with the options. Make sure you have solid options for your client. Make sure your client understands it. Hey, keep in mind that the video you just watched contains clips from a longer lecture that's available to our gold members at flashfilmacademy.com. You can go to flashfilmacademy.com to watch the complete lectures if you want to get all the gems and all the information, or you can stay on the channel and continue watching some of our content here. Just click one of those boxes somewhere around here. You know where to go. Right up in here, somewhere, wherever it pops up, you know what to do. You got this.